just monitor the discussions among the electorate. And how about the days left? That one is on the mind of the security personnel. However, we still have just over a day left in 2022, and so we must look back before looking forward. What is 2022 leaving behind in the annals of Nigeria's political history, and how prepared are the key actors for the much heralded 2023 in the nation's political landscape? I am Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome to the very last edition of Political Update for the year 2022. He started the year on a winning note, and it looks to have ended it in the same manner, as the Governorship Election Tribunal sitting in Ado-Ekiti has dismissed the petition filed by the candidate of the Social Democratic Party SDP, Segun Oni, against the election of Governor Abiodun Oyebanji as winner of the June 18 governorship election in Ekiti State. The tribunal, headed by Justice Wilfred Pochi, ruled that the petition lacked merit and the petitioner failed to prove his petition beyond reasonable doubt.
The Social Democratic Party candidate, Segun Oni, through his counsel, Obafemi Adewale, SAN, averred that the June 18, 2022 governorship election violated the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 and the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, with alleged cases of widespread vote buying and muzzling of opposition figures which affected the outcome of the election. Oni also described the primary that produced Oyebanji as candidate as being fraught with irregularities, as the governor was not validly elected to fly the APC's flag. On this basis, the petitioner wanted the victory upturned in his favor, or alternatively, the SDP candidate sought the relief of the tribunal for outright nullification of the election and ordering of a rerun. The three-man tribunal, headed by Justice Wilfred Pochi, observed that the ground by the petitioner that the governor of Yobe State, Mai Mala Buni, who conducted the APC primary, was an illegal occupant of the seat, and that all actions taken while superintending over the party was illegal, null and void. The tribunal held that it is not within its jurisdiction to entertain a pre-election matter. On these grounds, the tribunal dismissed the petition for lacking in merit.
We've all learned, I think, it's a judgment that I think will be referred to constantly in the years to come.
That is how the lower courts have seen the case, and that I believe the Court of Appeal will see it differently.
Governor Abiodun Oyebanji was declared the winner of the June 18 poll by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
This week, the Senate and House of Representatives passed the 2023 appropriation bill. Lawmakers have expressed optimism that the 2023 budget will sustain development processes put in place by the current administration. There are some views on the budget tagged the budget of fiscal sustainability and transition.
The budget was passed by the two chambers with expectations that it is designed to achieve macroeconomic stability, human capital development, food security, as well as improved external and internal security architecture.
It gives room for stability of planning by those who depend on whatever happens in the budget and even the economy itself.
Before we came in, the current was just about 20-25% before Buhari administration. We have improved it about 35-40%.
What I think the executive is trying to do is to see how best they can manage the kind of battered economy we have.
The legislators are also of the opinion that the budget is based on realistic understanding of the country's financial situation.
Generally, the budget works on an envelope. You do a ratio that since security is priority, okay, let's take this more than a certain sector of a budget, and then the other sectors are also classified based on their importance.
That's what is available in reality. Because looking at the books, you can't give what you don't have. And the best that they have is what they have given to Parliament to think through. And we have thought through it, placed things where they ought to be.
The senators and House members are hoping that the 2023 budget will serve its purpose of ensuring security and economic stability in the country.
Okay, in terms of budgeting, that will be the last one for the 9th Assembly. Let me quickly welcome Honorable Francis. Welcome again to Political Update. And it's been a while, almost about 7-8 months we've seen you.
Yeah, and we give God praise. Thank you for having me again.
Very shortly, the tinted glass will come down. You come and see your constituents in a couple of weeks, and go back to so that they can mark your papers. But for this time, you and your colleagues, this is the last time you'll be doing this for the 9th Assembly. Yeah. So, are you satisfied with your interventions and what you have served Nigeria with for 2023?
Well, sure. I'm a proud member of the 9th Assembly. The 9th Assembly, particularly the House of Representatives, to which I belong, have done so much for Nigeria. This 9th Assembly has restored the January-December budget cycle that makes for certainty in economic planning. This 9th Assembly has given us the Electoral Act, which is a legislation that's top-notch. World class. Something that can revolutionize the electoral process and make it credible, fair, and believable, acceptable by everybody. This Assembly has also given us the Petroleum Industry Act. I can go on and on. The Police Reform Act. There's so many that we have done. Comparatively, the 9th Assembly to me is the best in the history of this country. And then you were talking about my constituents marking me. Oh, the marking has been on from the first day and I've passed.
We will know it's February because yours is National Assembly and presidential elections. That is when the result sheet will come. But we will take your word for it. Let's go to, some have said that even in spite of this pass mark you've given yourself, that you and your colleagues may have even done much more, if not because of this, the schedule in the political scene. Seems as if some of you had your eye on returning and others, and there's not too many robust, engagements in the tail end of the year. Do you agree?
Well, at the end of the legislative session like this, everybody is trying to get your ticket back, trying to get re-elected, And if you're not careful, there's this shift from governance to politics. And that's what we're experiencing. But that notwithstanding, the 9th Assembly has ensured that governance does not suffer. At least you've seen that we passed the budget on time in December. It's now left for Mr. President to append his signature so that we retain the January-December for 2023. So the National Assembly, members of the National Assembly have done very well. And they've not allowed the politics to affect governance. And we deserve some kudos from Nigerians, All
right, we'll get to that. Of course, Nigerians are waiting with their pen, paper, and thumbs to know that direction. But first of all, we will begin our review of 2022 with the activities of the ruling All Progressives Congress in the outgoing year.
Within the year 2022 under review, the governing All Progressives Congress reached its 9th year as a political party and 7 years in power at the center. The outgoing year 2022, being a pre-election year in Nigeria, no doubt featured notable political events that added value and color to the country's democratic journey. In the camp of the progressive family, the APC, there was never a dull moment. In March 2022, the former Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Adamu was affirmed as the consensus national chairman of the party during the 5th National Convention of the APC held in the nation's capital, Abuja. This ushered in a new national working committee and ended the supervision of the Governor Mala Buni-led caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee of the party. The new leadership of the party immediately hit the ground running by embarking on the critical pre-election processes. The party fielded a deluge of interest in different political offices, and the cost of its nomination and expression of interest form stoked a number of conversations. Nevertheless, this process ushered in the APC's primaries nationwide, including the presidential primary held on June 2022. The party's national leader and former Lagos State Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged as the party's candidate after a keen contest which included some party heavyweights, including the Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, and Senate President Ahmad Lawan. In other contests, the APC actively participated in the off-cycle governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states. While APC retained power in Ekiti, it could not do same in Osun state as it lost to the opposition People's Democratic Party. Back to the national political arena, the podiums are staunchly carrying the weight of the politicians as the 2023 Tinubu Shetima APC presidential campaign train has since reactivated strategies for physical interaction with prospective voters. As Nigeria gets set for the 7th round of general elections since the return of democracy in 1999, APC is on the ballot for the 3rd time since its formation in 2013.
And the People's Democratic Party PDP had an eventful presidential primary. The outcome also led to some equally interesting developments in 2022.
The current National Working Committee of the PDP, under the leadership of Senator Iyorchia Ayu, upon assuming office, proposed to unify the party as well as lead it to victory in the 2023 general elections.
We have come out stronger. We are united. We are determined to come back where PDP belongs.
1 year on, analysts believe that the opposition party is still sharply divided ahead of next year's polls. Therefore, the plan to return the party to the people as well as reposition it to be able to win the 2023 polls still has some hurdles to scale. Some party leaders and members say the PDP's resolve to rescue and rebuild Nigeria started robustly following the presidential primary election that produced former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as the party's presidential candidate for the 2023 elections.
Of course, there are some discomforting family issues in our party as of today. They are usual in a big family.
We are determined to resolve those internal disagreements.
The PDP chairman, in a twist, ran into troubled waters in June after the nomination of Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa as PDP vice presidential candidate. Prior to the nomination of Okowa as running mate to the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, the party had set up a high-powered committee to consult on suitable vice presidential candidate. The committee, which included representatives of the various organs of the PDP, had shortlisted the Delta Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, Governors Nyesom Wike and Emmanuel Udom of Rivers and Akwa Ibom states respectively for the position. Ayu, while speaking at Okowa's unveiling, had dispelled media reports that majority of members of the panel had voted in favor of Wike as the preferred choice for the vice presidential ticket. However, the national chairman's comment did not go down well with supporters of the Rivers governor, who insisted that the Rivers governor had scored more votes in a poll done by the panel members. This has led to the polarization of the various organs of the party, including the National Working Committee, with Governors Wike, Samuel Otom, Ifeanyi Ugwanyi, Okeze Ikpeazu, and Seyi Makinde of Rivers, Benue, Enugu, Abia, and Oyo states, alongside other aggrieved party leaders, demanding the ouster of the national chairman. Since the crisis broke out in June, neither Ayu nor the party has known peace.
Contrary to all the speculations in the social media, the National Working Committee or the party didn't select one name for the candidate.
On behalf of our group, that we are very, very delighted to have had this meeting, to have exchanged views, to have reviewed matters, and we know that developments will unfold, and as they do, we shall honestly and properly brief the nation.
The Wike group also called the G5, which has remained resolute in its demand for Ayu's replacement with a Southerner ahead of the 2023 presidential poll, withdrew from the PDP Presidential Campaign Council pending the sack of the national chairman. As part of efforts to ensure peace in the party, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Senator Wali Jibril, stepped down, paving the way for the board secretary, Senator Dolphus Wabara, from the southeast to assume the chairmanship of the board. The move was, however, not accepted by the Wike-led aggrieved members.
No matter what the anger is let us debrief ourselves in-house rather than playing to the gallery.
Meanwhile, efforts are ongoing to reconcile aggrieved members of the PDP going forward into the 2023 elections.
Thank you, Timothy Yusuf, for the chronicles from the PDP in 2022. Let's just look at a few more developments from other parties very quickly. The Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council has a new Director General. That is not news. However, Akin Oshitokun, who has done this before, says it is not just what you do, but how you do it.
Oshuntoku is taking over as the Director General of Obidati Presidential Campaign Council following the resignation of Donyo Okukpe. He is confident that Peter Obi is the most qualified candidate for the presidency and promised to work hard to surmount challenges facing the campaign. For the young Nigerians championing the obedient movement, the DG is promising increased support.
The future of Nigeria belongs to them, and they have chosen the candidate who best personifies that future. And many of them are in the support groups. Under my leadership, they are going to get the optimum, the maximum.
Toko has previously served as Director General, News Agency of Nigeria, political advisor to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and Director, PDP Presidential Campaign in 2011.
Thank you, Ekenandulu. Everybody looks much older these days and grays everywhere. But let's quickly come back to Reverend Waive before we go. You are in a position, we're talking about the politics aspect of it now. You know, you have to move from your green chamber to the grassroots chamber now. Yes, in your state, you are in a position. Yorubas will say it is an issue of the bed and the rope. If the bed stops on the rope is not comfortable, the bed is not comfortable. Your governor is PDP, you are APC. Yeah. You are all going to the polls, and the governor has an even bigger ambition at the center. Yeah. What are the chances for you, at least from your perspective, especially in Ughelli, North South, and they will do as well?
Of course, for my own election is a walkover. I had the privilege of writing my own history. The pen was not in somebody else's hand. My performance on the floor, my performance in the constituency in terms of relating with the people on grassroots infrastructure, it beats everything since 1999. So if you go there, you find that the election is going to be a walkover for me. And then for our party, the APC in Delta, I can tell you, you can write this down. Today, I'm the only APC rep from Delta, but after the elections will be a minimum of 6. And of the 3 Senate seats, we'll get a minimum of 2. And of course, the governorship we've taken already. You can see what's happening.
Even before we vote. Anyway, let's
distinguished Senator of Yomag against a candidate, and you can't beat that. Check the other candidates, and you know that it's between him and the others. So APC have taken over Delta, and we just can't wait. We are all excited, waiting. Follow the news, what's happening in Delta every day. Every day there's a new development towards this direction. Even this morning, people are moving from the other party. I mean, big fishes are moving. So.
Anyway, when you talk of big fishes, we are in the Delta, full of a lot of rivers. But let's quickly, before we end it, your state was one of the first places where we tested the beavers. Yeah. If I remember, at state assembly election, the first time they were trying to do something before we now went to the state level.
You used the word tested.
Yes, tested.
So it's tested.
Yes. So now, but now it's that's how we're going this time. It's a game changer, as well as the backing of the Electoral Act as well, and several tweaks and all that. Are you excited going into this election, since you are also on the ballot? Like I said at the opening, we can only, to know how the thing is going towards election day, we only need to check your heartbeat. So are you confident, or are you in some form of trepidation?
My brother, people like me who have votes, we come into politics with votes already. There are people who will vote for us, come rain, come shine, because of our integrity, our credibility, because of what we have done in the past, what we stand for. So we have votes. So people like us are excited about beavers. excited about the Electoral Act. Votes are going to count this time. And our people are also excited. We're looking forward to an election that will be free, fair, and credible. So 2023 is going to be a watershed in the history of our country as far as the electoral process is concerned.
Let's go to the election management body. We end with the words of INEC National Commissioner on Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, who says although the commission has the capacity to conduct a seamless exercise, incessant attacks are a threat to the process.
The commission is preparing well for the 2023 general election. We've recorded some reverses in some of the states of the Federation in relation to attacks in some of our facilities, leading to the destruction of ballot boxes, voting cubicles, and permanent voters' cards. We have the capacity to recover from these attacks. Since the 2019 general election up to 2022, we've recorded 50 attacks in 15 states of the Federation. But the ones we recorded in 2022 are the ones that we consider as systematic and coordinated. And these are the ones that are targeted at derailing the preparations of the commission from conducting free, fair, credible, and transparent election. In our Abuja South local government office in Ogun State, we recorded so much losses. We have moved to a new location. In Izi, we are moving to Bonny, we are moving to a new location. So all these attacks that have taken place, we have the capacity to recover, and we are going to recover because we are already reprinting the permanent voters' cards that were lost during the inferno, and we are also replacing the voting cubicles and ballot boxes that we are also lost, and also trying to rent offices for the ones that we cannot repair. But that is it. But if these attacks go into January and February, it may be difficult for us to recover from those attacks. This is because if you look at section 134 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, it has threshold that a candidate must meet before that candidate can be declared as the winner of any election. So we do not want these attacks to continue. We don't want them to persist, but we have the assurance from the various security agencies that they are going to dominate the environment, they are going to neutralize all some of these attacks we are having, and that it will not continue. And that is the assurance we have from them. We need a secure environment. We need a safe environment to conduct the 2023 general election. The Nigerian people want a good election. The Nigerian people want to embrace democracy and have embraced democracy. The Nigerian people want an election that is driven by technology, and we are going to conduct an election driven by technology. The Nigerian people want a winner, a credible winner to be declared for the 2023 general election. We are going to declare only those who the Nigerian people elect as the winners of the election. So we do not want any distraction at this point in time, and that is why we have made it very clear to the National Assembly that all INEC offices shall and must be declared as high priority areas that needs adequate protection and needs adequate safety. The Nigerian people deserve to go into the election with a clear conscience and with a clear mind. We don't want people to go into the election with fear and anxiety because that will not make for a credible election. But in terms of our own preparations, in terms of delivering on our mandate of organizing, undertaking, and supervising election, we are on top of the situation, and we are not going to disappoint the Nigerian people.
Thank you very much, Reverend Wive, for being a part of the program. That is it for this year. Thank you so much for coming. I wish you the very best in your endeavors. And that has been Political Update for this year, 2022. Well, thank you for your steadfast patronage and commitment. Now that we are in the home straight, with the election tape in sight, we must play our role with our thumbs, not our fists, our conscience, not our appetite, with our collective future, not our individual fortunes, as our primary consideration. Until next year, when we hope to see you again, I'm Fisa Ogunfuyi, urging you to play your politics for the greater good. Bye for now.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.